Hello, good morning, friends. This is my first video. If you like, comment in the comment section, and also you can prefer me some poems and some stories if you want to. Please like if you like the video, and please subscribe for more videos about stories and poems. And also, this motivates me. So, let's start. The story is the Luncheon. It's very interesting story. It's by Somerset Mugham. Uh, let's start it. I caught sight of her at the play, and in answer to her beckoning, I went over during the interval and sat down beside her. It was long since I had last seen her, and if someone had not mentioned her name, I hardly think I would have recognized her. She addressed me brightly. Well, it's many years since we first met. How time does fly. We are none of us getting any younger. Do you remember the first time I saw you? You asked me to luncheon. Did I remember? It was 20 years ago, and I was living in Paris. I had a teeny apartment in the Latin Quarter overlooking a cemetery, and I was earning barely enough money to keep body and soul together. She had read a book of mine and had written to me about it. I answered thanking her, and presently I received from her another letter saying that she was passing through Paris and would like to have a chat with me. But her time was limited, and only the free moment she had was on the following Thursday. She was spending the morning at Luxembourg and would I gave her a little luncheon at Ford's afterwards. Ford's is a restaurant at which the French senators eat, and it was so far beyond my means that I had never even thought of going there. But I was flattered, and I was too young to have learned to say no to a woman. I had 8 francs to last me the rest of the month, and a modest luncheon should not cost me more than 15. If I cut out coffee from the next 2 months, I could manage well enough. I answered that I would meet my friends by correspondence at Forest on Thursday at 12:30. She was not so young as I expected, and in appearance imposing rather than attractive. She was in fact a woman of 40. She was talkative, but since she seemed inclined to talk about me, I was prepared to be an attentive listener. I was startled when the bill of fare was brought, for the prices were a great deal higher than I had anticipated. But she assured me I never eat anything for luncheon, she said. Oh, don't say that, I answered generously. I never eat more than one thing. I think people eat far too much nowadays. A little fish, perhaps. I wonder if they have any salmon. Well, it was very early. Now, oh, in the year of salmon. And it was not just a bill of fare, but I asked the waiter if there was any. Yes, a beautiful salmon has just come in. It was the first they had had. I ordered it for my guest. The waiter asked her if she would have something while it was being cooked. No, she answered. I never eat more than one thing unless you had a little caviar. I never mind caviar. My heart sank a little. I knew I could not afford caviar, but I could not very well tell her that. I told the waiter by all means to bring caviar for myself. I chose the cheapest dish on the menu, and that was a mutton chop. I think you are unwise to eat meat, she said. I don't know how you can expect to work after eating heavy things like chops. I don't believe in overloading my stomach. Then came the question of drink. I never drink anything for luncheon, she said. Neither do I answered promptly. Except white wine, she proceeded, as thought. I had not spoken. These French white wines are so light. They are wonderful for the digestion. What would you like? I asked, hospitable still, but not exactly effusive. She gave me a bright and amicable flash of her white teeth. My doctor won't let me drink anything but champagne. I fancy turned a trifle plate. I ordered half a bottle, mentioned casually that my doctor had absolutely forbidden me to drink champagne. What are you going to drink then? Water? She ate the caviar and she ate the salmon. She talked gaily of art and literature and music, but I wondered what the bill would come to. When my mutton chop arrived, she took me quite seriously to task. I see you are in the habit of eating a heavy luncheon. I am sure it is a mistake. Why don't you follow my example? As just eat one thing? I am sure you did feel ever so much better for it. I am only going to eat one thing, I said. As the waiter came again with the bill of fare, she waved him a sided, airy gesture. No, no, I never eat anything for luncheon, just a bit. I never want more than that. And I eat the more as an excuse for conversation than anything else. I could not possibly eat anything more unless they had some of the giant asparagus. I should be sorry to leave Paris without having some of them. My heart sank. I had seen them in the shops, but I knew that they were horribly expensive. My mouth had often watered at the sight of them. Madam wants to know if you have any of those giant asparagus. I asked the waiter. Note: salmon, caviar, and asparagus are very expensive food items that a person of average means cannot even dream of ordering at a costly hotel like the Foyers. I tried with all my might to will him say no. A happy smile spread over his broad, beast like face, and he assured me that they had some so large, so splendid, so tender that it was a marvel. And not the least hungry, my guest sighed. But if you insist, I don't mind having some asparagus. I ordered them. Are not you going to have any? No, I never eat asparagus. I know there are people who don't like them. The fact is, you ruin your plate by all the meat you eat. The waiter for the asparagus to be cooked panic sized me, as it was a question now how much money I should have left over the rest of the month, but whether I had enough to pay bill. It would be mortifying to myself. 10 francs is short to be obliged to borrow for my guests. I could not bring myself to do that. I knew exactly how much I had, and if the bill came to more, I made up my mind and I would put my head in my pocket and let my domestic cry start up and say, it had been a panic. Of course, it would be avoided if she had not money enough either to pay the bill. Then the only thing would be leave my watch and say I would come back and pay later. The asparagus appeared and they were enormous, succulent, and asphyrating. The smell of the melted butter tickled my nostrils, but all I could do was to watch my guest thrust them down in large mouthfuls. At least she finished. Coffee, I said. Yes, just an ice cream and a coffee, she answered. I was past caring now, so I ordered coffee for myself and an ice cream and coffee for her. You know, there's one thing I truly believe in, she said, and she ate the ice cream. One should always get up from a meal, feeling one could eat a little more. Are you still hungry? I asked faintly. Oh no, I'm not hungry, you see. I don't eat luncheon. I have a cup of coffee in the morning and then dinner, but I never eat more than one thing for luncheon. Speaking of you, oh, I see. Then a terrible thing happened. While we were waiting for the coffee, the head waiter came up, us, to us, bearing a large basket full of huge peaches. They had the blush of an innocent girl. They had the rich tone of the Italian landscape. But surely peaches were not in season then. Lording, what they cost? I knew too a little later for my guest going on with a conversation. Edmund St. took one. You see, you have filled your stomach with a lot of meat. My one miserable little chop, you cannot eat any more. But I have just had a snack, and I shall enjoy a peach. The bill came, and when I paid it, I found that I had only enough for quite an inadequate tip. Her eyes rested for an instant on the 3 francs I left for the waiter, and I knew that she thought me mean. But when I walked out of the restaurant, I had the whole month before me, not a penny in my pocket. Follow my example, she said as we shook hands, and never eat more than one thing for luncheon. I will do better than that, I asserted. I will eat nothing for dinner tonight. Humorist, she cried gaily, jumping into a cab. You are a humorist. But I have had my revenge at last. Today, she weighs 21 stone.